officially at 1,000 views on our Facebook for our last video.
Yes, thank the Lord.
Yes, sir.
And, if you're seeing this, please help us out. We're a new podcast. Like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we want to start going live, bringing y'all in here for amazing topics to talk about, because I think the world is turning to a very interesting place.
Yep.
One day you have $1 million in your account, the next day so something is happening. You're homeless.
We edited that out.
This is going. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
You're standing outside an ATM and you're crying about how you need to pay bills and you don't have no money. This is what's about to happen.
Boy, gee,
we got no money in this country.
Look, man, I like my job. I don't like being canceled. So we got 1,000 views on our last Facebook video, and then we almost had 1,000 views on our TikTok video.
Yeah.
So shout out to my son, man. I wanted to give him a shout out to Aiden. He is
genius kid.
Yeah, he's a beast with the
video editing. Yep.
Yeah, the social media algorithms.
Absolutely.
He set up our TikTok page. That's the first video we got 928 views on.
Yeah.
And 200 likes from last week. And then he was a beast with the video editing for the short movie. So I got to give him his props, man. He definitely put us on the map. And like I said, now we had 1,000 views for Facebook. We just need y'all to like and share it. And we need to get those likes and shares up, and comment on our videos as well.
Yes, absolutely. And share as much as you can. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 2 months. So 2 months and 1,000 views, that's pretty strong. So I'm happy about that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we want to start with this John Morant situation. This is an update. I think the last week we talked about he had entered a counseling program.
Yeah, in Florida.
And since last week, he has exited the counseling program.
Yeah.
So it's only been 1 week. I think he was in it for 2 to 4 days total.
Yeah.
He was suspended for 8 games, but his time away counted for most of those 8 games. So he's eligible to play back again tomorrow. So he can be back on the court again tomorrow. And just looking from afar, I think we hit on all the topics and all the points from last week.
Yep.
But just seeing from afar, man, first off, whatever counseling program this guy got, I need. You know what I mean? To be in for 2 or 3 days and for that to magically fix you.
Yeah.
I need that 100%. I need that for my relationships, because them shits just fail every other week. I need that. I just need that in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So either he got the magic counselor on speed dial, or something ain't right, because 2 or 3 days of the counseling program ain't fixing nothing.
Yeah, so how long is this gonna last? That's the bigger picture question, right? Whatever, I think probably the NBA, the owners of the team, the coach, as well as the commissioner of the NBA, probably told him, "Hey, man, it's either this or that."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it though is, one, like I just said, nothing's happening in a week. So I'm guessing he probably did at most, just to give him the most credit, 2 sessions in maybe 3 days of being in.
Yeah.
What changed from you brandishing guns, threatening teenagers, threatening security guards at NBA games, traveling illegally with guns?
Yep.
What type of 2-day counseling is going to fix that mentality and that behavior?
I think it was just like, hey, this is your last chance or you're done forever. So I don't know, maybe. But sometimes people with this type of mentality only learn this way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, they say, hey, you can either be a drill rapper or you can be a basketball player. Like, just choose one. You know what I'm saying? So, and hopefully he chooses the first, because I don't want to see him being a drill rapper. Yeah. Because they don't really last that long.
They really don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like this guy. I mean, some people love fucking themselves over. Yep. And I think this guy is one of them. You have all the gifts that God has given you, amazing athleticism. You can literally go anywhere you want. Yep. But you choose to do the shit that is already faded out. I mean, this type of behavior faded out like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it did.
right?
100%.
Back in the early 2000s, this was hot. I mean, you can be doing dumb stuff like this, but like people don't care. I mean, the world has changed. No. Times change. You got to change too.
No, and this is why I'm not an advocate of. And I get raked over the coals for this, but I'm not an advocate for giving these sports players hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts, whether that be from shoe deals or some type of advertisement deal or the actual contracts themselves. Because most of these guys, all of them really, besides a few, they're young, between in an NBA, between 18 coming out of high school. I think they got rid of that, but you young 20s to mid 20s.
Yeah.
You get millions of dollars. You're not mature. You have no type of life experience.
Yeah.
Right. And then you come out here and you make these dumb decisions, and you have these companies like Nike and Adidas who get tied to these players. And now your money is tied to how these young, immature guys act. And they make or break your company. An example, I mean, he ain't young, but you got idiot Kanye, right?
Yeah.
You got Adidas, who was tied to this man for $1 billion, right? And you're tied to him acting ethically and morally or not, right? And when he doesn't, you're forced to cancel him. But then when you cancel him, you go bankrupt.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah.
It's ignorant.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I think because of this, you're going to see a lot of more stricter contracts.
Yeah.
100%. Like the money is going to be not as guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you have to understand, like, a lot of these guys come from like nothing, right? Or next to nothing. Like, so when you were young and then all of a sudden you go from nothing to becoming a multi-millionaire, and you can literally have anything you want.
Yeah.
And all the thoughts want you. Yeah. Everybody. It's like you're in a different world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you think the world is a video game.
Yep.
It's not real.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a different type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like only the people who are actually going through it can actually, kind of speak against it or whatever. Yeah. Like, we can have opinions, but you and I, we don't have like $50 million in the account.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not famous around in the country. And shit.
Yeah. Shit. If I did, I wouldn't be out here behaving like these idiots.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it all depends about how you think and who's around you. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Like
the people who you keep around can either make you and break you.
For sure. 100%. And this is why I think everybody knows I'm a long time since I was a kid, a Baltimore Ravens fan. All right, Ravens was the first team I watched at 9 years old. Year 2000, when the great Ray Lewis won his first Super Bowl and brought that first Super Bowl home to us. And I get raked over the coals for this too. But this is why I'm not an advocate of giving a player like Lamar Jackson, when you talk about in the NFL, $250 million, right? When you talk about that much money,
$250 million
to a player, like one player.
That's how much some companies generate revenue a year by working a whole year.
Exactly.
That's $250 million.
Yeah. And, I get people talk about all the time, well, you're siding with billionaires, right, versus the players. They talk about player empowerment and player rights. And, okay, cool. However, I'm not siding with billionaire owners. I'm siding with the business owner side. And as a business owner, that is not a smart business investment.
Yeah.
To give into these players so much money and be so dependent on them.
Yeah.
One injury, it's over. One gunshot or carrying a gun and threatening people with it, it's over. One social media post and, you talking about Jews and the rest of it, and you're canceled, and that's over. You know what I mean? One action and it's over. But yeah, I have $250 million plus invested in you. How is that smart?
Nah, it's not. I mean, there's way too much downside, too much counterparty risk.
It is.
I mean, I completely agree with that. Like, that's too much at stake.
It is. And I understand, okay, these owners are getting billions of dollars from the players playing, obviously fans watching and investing their money in it.
Yep.
However, that's business, right? how much do Walmart pay their employees, and they're a billion and $1 trillion company?
Yeah, Walmart employees are actually subsidized by the government because they barely make anything, and most of them are on welfare.
Exactly. Well, how often do we hear about the treatment of Amazon workers in their warehouses, and they a billion $1 trillion company? So I don't have any sympathy for sports players who are making hundreds.
And you're playing sports that kids can play. Yeah, I mean, you guys are not like. I mean, you're not geniuses at transforming the human civilization. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're throwing a ball in a net.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Or we're catching it or throwing the ball on the football field, whatever it is, baseball, whatever it is. So I've just never been an advocate of such high money. I don't feel any sympathy for these guys.
Nah, I don't.
Right? And then, I always hear, well, all football players and basketball players don't make millions of dollars. Well, I looked up the league minimum.
Yeah.
For the NFL, at least.
It's like $500,000 probably.
It's more than that. It's 900,000. That's the league minimum.
Bro, 900,000?
900,000.
A neurosurgeon doesn't make that much.
That's exactly right. So I don't got no sympathy.
The kicker in the NFL, the guy who kicks the ball maybe 5 times a game for 4 months out of the year, makes more money than a guy who saves hundreds of lives a year doing brain surgery.
Exactly. Teachers, military, exactly. This is exactly.
I don't give a fuck about teachers and military. You guys are useless.
That's why I threw it out there. You caught that.
Always complaining about, we need more money for the kids. The kids can't read, and neither can the teachers.
You caught the alley-oop. I like that. That was
what I'm saying. Like, so plus they're trying to kids.
Right.
They're always somebody.
I'll disassociate myself with this guy. This guy right here. You funny. But yeah, man, I'm not on board with that. So I ain't got no sympathy for these guys. There's very few players like this that I believe from a business standpoint that deserve such high money. If I was a business owner, I would not be paying these athletes that much money.
And I feel like every year it only goes up.
It goes up every
year. Every year it only goes up and up and up. And I'm like, at what point is it? It's like monopoly money.
It is, yeah.
It's like, it's just like a number. Like, you're not even vowed, impressed by it. 300 million, 400 million. Yeah. Like Tom Brady, I think got like $400 million to be a commentator.
Exactly, he did, to be a commentator
for a sport that's dying in the country. Less and less people are sending their kids off to play football because they know now that if you are 2 people running head first at super fast, ramming their heads into you, it's not the best thing to do for your brain.
It's not.
So, I don't know. But whatever. I mean,
and
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's important because we're starting to see more players advocate and fight for more money, I guess more rights in a lot of senses. You see specifically the NFLPA. Now, in this case, they're supposed to be fighting for players' rights, but they're using Lamar Jackson as a tool to get players all fully guaranteed contracts, right? So,
where is he going, by the way? Is he still in Baltimore?
He's still in Baltimore. We gave him the non-exclusive tag, which allows him to go seek and talk to other teams for contracts. But guess what? No other team is going to sign him to $250 million.
He's not worth
fully
that.
Guaranteed.
No.
He's not worth that. Not when you got a 1-4 playoff record. No. Not when even in those 4 games. I count 4 technically as 1-3, but he sat out last year or this year during the playoffs on it because he was crying about his contract. So I count 1-4. But even in those games,
so he wants more than $250 million.
He wants more than Deshaun Watson, who got $230.
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, that's from the Cleveland Browns. He got $230 fully guaranteed.
Deshaun Watson, the guy who was accused of
over 23 rapes and sexual assaults and sexual misconduct.
Who didn't do shit in the Houston Texans.
Yes, he got $230.
And this is the Cleveland Browns.
Yep, they gave.
That's why you're the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
That's why you are the Cleveland Browns of the NFL, because you guys are they're a high school team that's allowed to play in the NFL.
Exactly. So he's the only one that has got that amount of fully guaranteed money.
Bro, that is stupid amount of money.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that guy's agent is impressive. I'm impressed by that agent. Well, you had to convince. I mean, regardless. I mean, you had to convince the Browns organization that this guy's worth guaranteed money of $230 million.
Here's the thing: they actually didn't. It's just the Browns are so incompetent that they made the decision when Deshaun Watson told the organization, I'm not interested in you guys. He even told them, I don't want to play in Cleveland. He was on a flight back to Atlanta to talk to the Falcons. And they said, well, let's give this guy a $230 million fully guaranteed contract to change his mind. And then as soon as he touched down, he flew back to Cleveland to sign that contract because that was the only team that's going to give him that. So it was really
this guy's not even worth $50 million.
Bro, that guy, he ain't worth $5 million. He tried, bro. You see he's
done. He's done. I mean, he's been in the NFL for God knows how long. He hasn't. I don't think he has won a playoff game.
One. He's 1-3 like Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God.
He's 1-3 like Lamar Jackson.
My
so it's
God.
Funny. So get this, right? Allegedly, because on top of that, he's a rapist, a sexual assaulter, a pervert, and fucking.
But the Browns deserve this.
Oh, 100%. You know how? Because they actually just restructured his contract because he was supposed to make $50, $60 million with the bonus and all this other stuff this year, but they had to restructure it because they couldn't afford it because
that's too much. Yeah, exactly.
For the
salary cap,
right? But get this, because I also want to make this point because I don't think a lot of people in the sports world have made this point enough. So they signed him the year before, right?
Yeah.
Last year, he got an 11-game suspension due to his allegations of rape and sexual misconduct of over 20 women, right? So
I mean, that's well known.
Right. So they signed him, right?
Knowing that, bro.
Yeah, but hold on. They intentionally signed him for that 1 year to a $1 million salary for the year so that he would incur the lowest amount of fines because every game that you're suspended, they fine you a percentage of your game check, of your salary for that year. So they gave him a $1 million salary for that year, knowing that he was going to be out 11 games so that he wouldn't take a big hit in each game he was fined. So now you are moving unethically. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, right? But this is the mindset of the Cleveland Browns organization, right? But I wanted to hit that because a lot of sports players and people and analysts, they're not talking about that enough. Right. On top of going back to Lamar Jackson, he's using Deshaun Watson as a case, right? Deshaun Watson is 0.0001% of NFL quarterbacks in history to get a fully guaranteed contract of over $100 million because Kirk Cousins got it as well, but he got fully guaranteed for like 2 or 3 years at $80 million. That's a whole different conversation, right? We can say, okay, that's decent. That's going rate. But Lamar Jackson is using that 0.001% to now argue for $250 million.
Absolutely not. I don't think outside of Patrick Mahomes and who else is number 2? You know,
I would say the only 2 quarterbacks in my mind that I've ever seen play in the history, well, I say during our era because I ain't going to go to the history. During our era that deserve a fully guaranteed contract is obviously Tom Brady during his prime.
Exactly, yeah.
He deserved it because I'm like, you going to bring me 7 Super Bowls? You can have whatever money you want. You know what I mean? And then Patrick Mahomes, right? Because he's on the same line of Tom Brady. He's been in the league for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's never.
I will Peyton Manning too.
I wouldn't say Peyton Manning. He hasn't done enough for fully guaranteed. But Patrick Mahomes has been in the league for 5 years. He's never lost before the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So 5 years, he's either been 1 game away from the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl winning it. So he has 3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 Super Bowls. And he's young, 27, 26.
Oh, yeah. He got under 7, 8 years, man.
So as an organization, I could look at you and say,
he'll win another 3.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll give you fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right?
That completely makes sense.
Exactly.
But fuck nah. Like,
right?
Nah. That's way too much. And talking about money, you know, there's a lot of news going around about the banking crisis. And I think there was a report in Wall Street Journal that about 186 banks are now asking the Federal Reserve to come in and guarantee that the deposits are secured.
You said 186?
186 banks in this country could be underwater.
Shit, is our bank on there? Your bank on there?
No. The top 4 are safe. Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. These four are what's considered
the pillars.
They're the pillars of the financial finance of this country, right? Yeah. And according to Bank of International Settlements, these are too big to fail.
Yeah, they are. But
the other bullshit fucking credit unions you have, regional banks. I never heard of First Republic or Signature Bank. I never even heard of SVB until all this shit popped up.
Oh man.
So, and now you hear about Credit Suisse being purchased by UBS, which is another Swiss bank. I think is the number one bank in Switzerland, and Credit Suisse was number 2.
Yep.
So,
and what is this stemming from again? What we talked about last week?
This all has to do with the interest rates going up, right? The Federal Reserve is supposed to meet on Wednesday and decide it's either going to be a 0.25, a 0.25%, or a 0.5% increase in for the Fed's fund rate,
which is probably going to destroy a lot of those small banks.
Oh yeah, they're fucked. Small banks, regardless. There's been a massive outbound flight of deposits from small banks into JP Morgan, Bank of America, and other banks. I think there was about $60 billion. I think there was about $10 billion a day that was leaving small banks into bigger banks last week.
Wow. Of bank users' money.
Yeah, like deposits.
So that money. So
the Federal Reserve and JP Morgan had to give these smaller banks enough money so that there wasn't a liquidity crisis.
So I know that the two banks that we talked about last week
Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve came and said that they were going to insure the deposits of the actual bank users.
Yeah.
Right, so they came out and said that. But has it been any response for this 186?
No. They're asking Janet Yellen, which is the Treasury Secretary, to come in and say that. But the Treasury Secretary said when she was having the Congressional Committee meeting, whatever, she said it depends, like where you fall in the order.
Oh,
how important are you? You know what I'm saying? So SVB obviously was the 16th largest bank, so it meant a lot. But if you're in the 98th position, I don't think nobody gives a fuck about you.
And this is what I hate about our system, because banking, right, is the only way we can really make transactions right now.
Yeah, everything is electronic.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right? You ain't keeping $50,000 at home under the mattress no more.
No way. It's not practical.
Yeah. You can't take that into no institution or any institution and try to make a purchase now, right? So it's
because if you do, you'll be reported to the IRS.
That's exactly right.
So you're kind of legally bound to play the game.
You are. So now it's like I got to put my money in this bank. This bank is using my money for other means.
They're gambling it.
Yeah.
They're playing in the derivative market.
Yeah, like a casino.
Yeah, it's a casino.
And then once they lose my money, money is lost.
Yeah, your money's lost, and they start crying like bitches, and then they're going to go to the federal government, hey, can you bail us out?
But at one point, these banks not going to get bailed out, and we just going to be screwed.
What we're going to have now are what's called a bail-in. Okay. A bail-in is essentially using the depositor's money and using that to save the bank itself.
Wait, say that again?
So instead of having a bailout would be like if I go under, you would come and save me. You say, here's $100 million. Use that to save yourself.
Yeah.
So your company doesn't go under. A bail-in would be a bank has $100 billion and needs like $50 billion. It will take the depositor's money and use that to save the bank from going underwater.
New deposits or current deposits?
Whatever it has on the books. A bail-in is when the bank is going to take the depositor's money and save the bank from going under.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, if the bank has lost the depositor's money, what money are they using for the bail-in?
It could be bank CDs. It could be other saving accounts. There's dozens of like financial instruments and accounts, right? It's not just like standard checking account, saving account. It could be bank CDs. It could be bonds that the bank offers. It could be the bank bonds itself. It could be a whole lot of things.
Man, I need to check and see if my bank on there because I primarily bank with PenFed, Pentagon Federal Credit Union. So I need to move. I might need to move that back to USAA. See if both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys should be safe because if anything happens to you guys will come on the street cry about, hey, I fought the war for your freedom and justice and liberty for all that nonsense.
Against your neighboring country. Yeah. Over there in Afghanistan.
Staying in the compound so you don't get shot by a farmer. Thank you. Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you $1 outside of 7-Eleven.
Yeah, you're funny.
Yeah, but this is a humongous, massive problem. And now this issue with Trump supposedly being arrested all of a sudden.
He ain't been arrested.
He's not getting arrested. I think if you are listening to this, most likely you're not. But if you are, I would not be paying attention to this because this is just a distraction.
Yeah, he's not been arrested.
At the same time, the country is going to completely implode financially, and you see all these banking institutions going underwater because this whole thing is a casino. It's a fake. It's a fake economy, right? It is not real. So once they lose everybody's money, they don't want you going out to the streets against the bankers. They want you to go against the street for a guy who's not a president anymore and he's a clown. Yeah, who cares?
Yep.
He's done. He's old news. Move on.
Yep.
I would be focusing on the banks.
Oh, for sure. I think it is a distraction because they've been talking for what?
2-3 years.
Yeah, about arresting him. If he didn't get arrested for an insurrection.
Insurrection.
Yeah, insurrection.
Yeah. If he didn't get arrested or charged for whatever for January 6th, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
everything else is nonsense.
Yeah, it was the insurrection. That's that Detroit education coming out. Yeah, it was the insurrection. But the insurrection is stupid. It was that, and then the records. I guess that they found the classified records in his house.
Yeah, Biden had that too in his fucking mansion in Delaware.
He had that, and then what was it? Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels was shit. Yeah. Then it was his schools too, because his schools and financial institute. Well, it was a school.
He had a fake university.
Yeah, exactly. It was that. And then him avoiding taxes and claiming it. I mean, the laundry list is long. If this guy has not been arrested yet, he's not going to get arrested.
Exactly. This is kabuki theater.
For sure.
Focus on the bankings, please. Yep. Focus on that because your livelihood is attached to that.
Yep.
This is how you survive, and this is how you pay for your family and yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you lose access to your wealth, you're done.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, we're gonna have some problems. You talking about we talk about protesting and rioting before.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna be right up in that line if all my money is missing out my bank.
I mean, I don't know if you're following this, but France is literally burning. The entire country is burning because they have increased the retirement age from 62 to I believe 64 or 65. Just 3 years. And the country is on fire. The whole country is outside protesting that this shit is not going to fly.
See, those type of movements from a mass amount of people that way, it moves countries to make a change.
Exactly.
Our protest
100%. Nah.
Yeah, the way we protest over here is chanting around buildings, screaming and
burning down a liquor store is not going to work. Looting Target is not going to work.
Screaming in people's faces. Even if we get back to the peaceful side of it, the way we protest over here doesn't enact change.
Yeah, because not enough people come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Not enough people come out.
We don't ever see a group of people, specifically I would say black people, protesting, and then somebody in higher authority say, you know what? They've been out there for 3 weeks.
And let me join them.
Yeah, let me join them. Let me take up their cause. You know what? We were oppressing them in a certain way before, but the fact that they protesting right now, we changed our minds. We don't want to be oppressors no more.
Yeah.
There's no way, right? Yeah. But when in other countries, with the way people unite, and that's real unity, right? Yeah. The way people unite and everyone collectively say, we are rising up against this, and we will shut down the entire economy. The entire system
100%.
Until we get change. That's change.
Yeah. People make fun of the French, or with whatever, but those fuckers know how to. They know how to protest. You know what I'm saying? They know how to protest 100%. So,
for sure,
this country and the people in it are just too fat and dumb to do anything. I mean, protesting will take energy to walk long distances. expand energy. I mean, they would have to have a snack station every block to get these people to do anything.
I'm done with this guy, bro.
No, honest to God. Look, people in this country are sleeping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're too distracted with the sports because right at one sports end, basketball ends, guess what? Football starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As soon as football starts, baseball season starts.
Yeah.
They got you in this little bullshit rhythm. You know what I'm saying? They got you into 9 to 5. You work like a rat. You get out of your house. You get in your car, sit in traffic. You're already frustrated. You go to office. You hate that place. And obviously, who wouldn't? Because everybody there is dumb, just like you. And you're thinking you're more intelligent than them, but you're not. And then you waste 8-10 hours a day on a bullshit job that gives you, end of the year, 2% raise.
Yeah.
Right? That's not even keeping up with the rate of inflation. So you're taking a pay cut. Then you get back in your car. You go home. And then what?
Yep.
You watch TV.
Yep. And
you spend 60, 70 years like that, and then you die.
Yep. And that's why we will never come together collectively and really enact change.
Yeah. Because there's too many bullshit, different kind of, I would say, teams in this country, right? Oh, I'm on this team. I'm on the blue team. I'm on the red team.
Exactly.
I believe this.
Exactly.
And if you're not in this team, whatever you say, whatever you believe and stand for, it's I completely reject it.
Yeah, 100%.
They can't seem to understand that. It's not a group thing. You know what I mean? It's not. We don't have to be so tribal about stupid things that differentiate us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is a class warfare. What's happening in this country?
Yep, it is.
It's not about there are other things that people are being distracted about. It's about very few that have everything.
Yeah.
And 99% of who are making it by.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
So if the economy is now, or if the financial banks are now in this, I guess, tied knot of money and losing people's money, I mean, obviously we know that's going to have an adverse effect on the economy, but what do you think specifically how is it going to affect the housing economy? Because I know you trying to buy a house now, so what do you think the effects is going to be on that?
I mean, it's what's going to happen. If it gets super out of hand, right?
Yeah.
What can happen is mortgages might just cease.
What do you mean?
The banks will just say, we can't lend you money because we don't have money to lend you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or if you want money, put 50% down.
Wow.
They would have to make dramatic changes to lending practices. Credit will, how in this country, how lucky we are. If you want a Mercedes-Benz and you look like a jerk-off and you can go to a fucking, get an AMG. Yeah. And you're behind payments. You're trying to stunt, but, with your New York hat on. So that's what it is. I mean, you can go get a Mercedes-Benz, $100,000 car for, and you can finance it for 8 years.
Yep.
That doesn't exist in other countries.
Yeah.
In other countries, people pay for what they want right there.
Yep.
Or at most 2 to 3 years of financing. So they have real money.
Yeah.
They're not they're not making monthly payments like we do here.
Yeah.
So I think after the next financial crisis, you might not see 30-year mortgages
anymore.
I don't think so, because I just think the system is too far in debt. We have $31 trillion in debt. We have $2 trillion in student loans, which are going to start in June. So that's going to affect a humongous part of people's monthly budget.
I thought they was paying off the student loans. The government was paying that off.
No, it's stuck in federal court.
So it ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They just use that to win the votes.
Yep.
Next thing you're seeing is massive amounts of repossessions in cars. You know that the average new payment for a car is about $600?
Yes. Actually, it's closer to $700. The average amount paid for a car is like $48,000 over the last year.
Oh, my Lord.
Now,
I paid $24,000 for my Honda Accord 2018. That was just 5 years ago.
Yep. It fluctuates depending on the site that you look at. You'll see anything between like $44,000 to $48,000 as the average amount for a brand new car in the country.
Yeah,
that is insane.
That's insane. That's an absurd amount of money. That's a healthy down payment on a decent house.
Yeah, shoot, yeah, man, for a car. I mean, I can't lie. I mean, I paid for my BMW, but
yeah,
it's different. It's different.
You stunning too.
It's different. Yeah, I'm different. Though.
You guys can do it. We can't.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You guys are pigs.
Different standards.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna see some shit. Wednesday is the day to watch. You're gonna want Jerome Powell to come out and the Fed chairman and see if he raises rates 0.50. You're gonna see shit hitting the fan.
When is this? Tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Monday?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
They meet Tuesday and Wednesday, but Wednesday is when they're gonna announce the interest rate hike.
And that's going to affect interest rates pretty much across the board, right? Definitely houses.
Yeah, Fed's fund rate right now is 4.75. So if they rate, let's say 0.5%, it's going to be 5.25. So the mortgage is going to be touching 8%.
At least.
Yeah.
Wow. Because right now it's about what, 6.5%?
6.5 to 7.2%, something like that.
Man, I'm so glad I jumped into this housing game.
Yeah. So you timed it perfectly, and you think you got a hell of a deal. This is an amazing place, as you guys can see.
Appreciate it.
Everything here. You can only see a little bit of it, but this is a dope ass house.
Appreciate that, dog. Yeah, I'm glad I did, man. I'm hoping you get yours, man. You get your house. I know you've been looking.
Hopefully, I get my house and get in line for that 30-year handouts.
Yeah, for real. Because before it crashed, it would be nice to jump in there.
Or it's something else can happen. If it crashes, prices can be dirt cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all these people who are going to be losing their jobs, right?
Yep.
If these companies start going underwater, guess what? You're going to lose your job.
Yeah.
If you lose your job, if you have thousands of new homes coming onto the market, and the bank is like, hey, we got to get rid of them somehow because we need money. We got to make interest on these homes.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like slashing prices 20-30%.
Yeah.
So if you have cash, I would say wait for this thing to implode.
Yeah.
And start buying cheap townhouses to rent out.
Yep.
That's a good strategy to do.
Or you can go buy property in another country.
You can do that too. Cash is king. If you have cash, you have capital, you have all the freedom in the world.
Yeah, but just don't think you got the freedom that Andrew Tate got over there in his, what is it, Croatia? Is it Croatia?
I believe Romania.
Is it Romania? Oh, no, whatever.
Yeah.
I got Croatia.
Yeah, he's in Romania. I think he's been locked up for a good 6 months now.
Yep.
Without trial, and supposedly he's being charged with all sorts of things. But, like...
human sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Trafficking women, raping women.
Yeah. And he has not been convicted, so we can't say anything. And, I mean, the person has to be convicted in a court of law, no matter where they are in the world, in order for us to,
But what we can say is based off his own recorded podcasts and talks.
Yeah.
I mean, he admitted to like 95%. Now, he's saying now that it was all for his persona and entertainment.
Yeah.
But he definitely...
And there's a thin line with that, right? I mean, you can have a persona online, this character you're playing.
Yeah.
But, like, where do you stop with that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where clout gets you in there.
Yeah.
Blows your own wig off. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he technically still, I think he's been detained for 3 months now, 2 or 3 months since December, I believe. So
more than, yeah.
But he hasn't been charged yet, right?
No.
So, I hear his fans and a lot of people who are like, it's inhumane to detain someone without charging them.
Yeah.
Right. And keep them locked up because essentially he's in jail.
Yeah.
For something that he hasn't even been charged for. But I do like to remind people that during one of his podcasts and talks, he specifically said that he purposely moved to Romania because they do not follow the laws. They do not follow the rules.
I remember that.
So
he can bribe people.
Yeah.
Well, this is the flip side.
This is what you get, right? You get inhumane treatment, right? Because that's why you moved over there. Now, is it right? No, it's not right. You can't detain somebody like that for months and months and months while you conduct your investigation in the background. Yeah. And this guy's just like locked up like a convicted person, right?
Yeah.
But hey, when you move to these countries, one, you have to follow their laws and their standards. You have to be aware of their laws and standards. And when you move over there for that specific reason, to have your freedom to be able to do what you want because, they are in his own words, corrupt.
Yep.
Well, you about to get this corrupt treatment, my guy. And that's what you get now. Yeah, that's what you get now. But his case and then Adam 22 case, the other podcaster who just, I guess, got exposed for or talking to a 16, 15
allegedly he was speaking to a 16-year-old girl when he was 23.
Yeah.
I don't know much details about that, so you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah, he's a big podcast guy though.
Yeah, and two of his co-hosts also left the show, but more news to come.
Trash anyway. Yeah, that whole show. I don't know how these guys. Well, I do know, right? Because derogatory and all of the bad things when it comes to the persona that people try to create for social media, that sells. It gets likes and clicks.
And right now, the hottest thing is to have 7 or 8 like chicks that have like by body composition, they're like 30% of their body mass is made. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, and they're gonna preach to these chicks that, hey, you shouldn't be having sex with the 897th guy.
This guy.
I'm like, bro, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, what are you people preaching?
They have. I think
you think she's gonna change her mind because she's on a dating podcast?
The trend is I've seen that a lot with a lot of these podcasts.
This shit is corny, bro.
Yeah, it's corny because most of them are airheads. They have no intellect whatsoever. They can't communicate or formulate a complete sentence.
If they're not listening to their daddy, they ain't listening to Yo Gumpy ass in fucking podcast talking about. Like 28% of the time, women initiate divorce, and you're gonna be dying with a cat. Like, motherfucker, who cares about her?
They don't care, and that's what his podcast was made up of. That was Adam 22. His podcast was made up of just having a boatload of females and women on his show and trying to educate them and show them, tell them of how to act.
Yeah, you shouldn't be having sex with 40 people in the same day. I'm like, bro, like,
they ain't listening to you, bro.
Exactly, you wasting your time. With that being said, any closing words?
Nah, man. I just hit the like, hit the share.
Yep.
Hit the like, share. We will start doing short videos, funny videos. I told you my son put us on that, so I'm employing him as our first employee. Start making us weekly videos, so you guys will see more of that. But comment, like, share, and help us out on that. That's all I got.
Yes, absolutely. As what Willie said, share, subscribe, and like. And once we start going live, guys, come on board.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.